Look, being in charge of a multi-site business is different. In my prior business I ran at Wiggle, it was very much concentrated in a single location. It's a multi-site business, we've got 200 sites. You've got to do two or three things right. You've got to keep the model simple, especially when you've got small numbers of staff in each location, which we have. Secondly, you've got to make sure the information is clear for everybody and it's the same information that everybody has, because that makes control and spotting issues much easier if everybody's singing off the same hymn sheet. And finally, you've got to work hard on communication. And the beauty of modern technology is that's made communication much easier. So we obviously do all the normal email stuff, but whether it's conference calls or we use an app called Workspace, which is a part of the Facebook group that allows us to communicate and share ideas very rapidly across the network, because that's where you keep people engaged and feeling they're part of a much bigger business than just the one site that they're responsible for. Subscriptions are a real joy, actually, because as long as you don't do anything badly wrong, the money keeps flowing in. Now, we're uncontracted revenue subscriptions, and that is a bit different. So we do have to keep performing every day. We'll do 50 to 60 million gym visits this year across our estate, and that's 50 or 60 million opportunities for our members to either love us or leave us. And that really focuses the mind on service quality, and it's pretty simple, our business, in many ways. If we keep on delivering great service to our members, then they'll stick with us and the subscription revenues will keep coming in, and that's a pretty good place to be. When it comes to competition, there's a sort of mindset you have to have, which I describe as having healthy paranoia. You've got to believe that just because you've been successful, and we've been a fairly successful business, we've got to #1 in our market in 8 or 9 years, you've got to have that paranoia where you're saying, somebody else is going to come and eat our lunch if we let them do so. So we're constantly asking ourselves how we can do better, constantly watching all our competitors for what they're doing. I have no problem with taking ideas from competitors. They take them from us all the time. We systematically analyze our competitors from a financial point of view, from a strategic point of view, and we encourage all our colleagues out in our gyms to get out and do a process we call Rate Your Rivals, and record that information on a central database. So we've also got feelers out in every market in the country to understand what competitors are doing and what they're up to. Future-proofing a business is recognizing the dynamics of the market and the conditions in which we all operate now. And it's a much more fungible, much more changeable world than it was 15, 20 years ago when I was being taught how to do strategy at McKinsey, when it was all about 5 or 10-year plans and rolling out and that sort of thing. Future-proofing a business today is really about being highly adaptable and being ready to understand the shifts in the sand that you confront in a marketplace and knowing what you need to do. And I think adaptability is actually more important in future-proofing a business than having over-defined routes forward in terms of strategy. If you're not adjusting and amending your strategy and your operational approach every 2 or 3 years, you're probably falling behind people who are. And you've got to have that sort of approach. And it's that mindset that helps you future-proof a business, not typically some great sort of physical asset or position. It's that mindset of constantly seeking to adapt and question what you thought was going to happen and compare that to really what is happening.